base runner reached second. No one in this game for the Padres has visited third base yet.
Yeah, Matt Williams getting lonely over there.
In the dirt and gathered by Magee.
Good smother and recover right there by the off-speed pitch, well out in front of home plate. Check the runners.
Ball 3.
Really working underneath that last pitch. That was the cutter. You work underneath that, no chance. Up. Got to stay up top of that, working down so you get that little bit of a break to it. He's lost a little command this inning.
Popped up foul off to the left out of play.
You know who Cal Quantrill's father-in-law is, don't you?
I don't think I do.
Andy Ashby.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty easy. His wife, Easton, daughter of Andy.
Popped up foul off to the left out of play.
Andy Ashby. Now, there's a good egg right there. He did pre and post for the national series here in San Diego.
Did very well, too.
Yeah. Hey, Ash, how you throwing the ball these days? No, ball's coming out of my hand like a cotton ball. Nothing behind it. Free and easy.
That's ball 4. And Grisham is aboard to load the bases. This is the first walk today allowed by Cal Quantrill.
Yeah, the location really off this inning.
Willis, the pitching coach, headed out there. Padres have them loaded with 2 down in the inning. Summer is coming to a close, but you can still secure a suite or hospitality space for an upcoming Padres game. Petco Park is the perfect place to have fun with friends, family, and colleagues. Visit Padres.com/groups to learn more. This is loaded, 2 down in the 7th inning. Jorge Alfaro coming up. Five pitches for Quantrill. In this spot, Alfaro 375, 1 grand slam on his resume. This year, 4 for 7 in that category. Only one time this year has Cal Quantrill thrown 100 pitches, and it was even 100 in 6 innings against the Detroit Tigers back on July 16th. This is pitch 96. So he may be nearing the end. This one fouled off to the right out of play. Mm-hmm. 25th pitch of this inning coming up. Down the right field line, headed foul. A walk by Grisham, by the way, 53rd walk of the year for Grisham. Ranks 5th among National League outfielders in that category. Bases filled with Friars. 2 down. An 0-2 pitch. Foul back. Still 0-2.
Just got a piece of it. Good tilt to that last pitch there. Hey, a slam here. You're within 3.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out to leave him loaded. More frustration for the Padres, leaving 3 on at 7-0 Cleveland.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
Little did we know that switching to Cricket was going to be a major upgrade. 5G is like fast.
Switch for the speed, stay for the savings. Smile, you're on Cricket.
I'm a fancy exercise bike newbie, and I've gone from 0 to obsessed in like 3 days. After riding 12 miles to nowhere, I'm taking a detour.
And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you could be working out a way to pay for this yourself.
Get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem for a whole lot less.
Pivot.
Work by vacation high. Book a Priceline, because when you save more, you can no way more.
No way.
No way. No way. No way.
No way. Priceline. Every trip is a big deal.
Washington and Seattle today. George Kirby, you talk about getting off to a hot start.
How about that, Mike? 24 straight strikes. He beat the previous record, which was Joe Musgrove, our own Joe Musgrove, but ended up giving up runs, Mike, 5 runs in the 5th, and the Washington Nationals got the better hand today.
24 straight strikes and you're losing 1-0. Oh, this game is tough. Mark and I looking forward to seeing everybody for Padres Live, the post-game show brought to you by Toyota. And Donnie, looks like a first look at Josh Hader in a little while.
Indeed, Mike, that is exactly the case. And Josh Hader trying to figure it out after a couple of really rocky outings with the Padres. He is out there for his 43rd overall appearance. And into this game, look at his numbers. And lately it's been really tough.
Yeah, back on the 19th, that was Friday against the Nationals. That was Josh's last outing 5 days ago. Sinker, slider, changeup, four-seamer. The numbers as a Padre, not good. Overall, 43rd game for Josh, 5.30 ERA. I'm sure a lot of dialogue, a lot of going over stuff, talking with coaches, meeting with self, quite frankly, evaluating what's going on to try to iron things out. Hopefully, nothing more for Josh Hader I'm wishing for here is throwing up a quick 0 in this inning.
Owen Miller leads it off against Hader. That takes strike 1 at 97 at the knees.
Well, that's a good start. Believe me, I don't care if you're a rookie, if you're a veteran. When you're going through the struggles like Josh Hader, getting that first strike, getting that first out, after being out there for a while, try to find a groove.
Broken bat, Bloop into center field for a base hit. Starts things in the 8th inning. Sounded like some snappage.
Yeah. It's once again, just you make a good pitch, you snap a guy's bat. That's 98 on the inside corner. He fights it off. And just like that, he's aboard with a base hit.
Tyler Freeman coming up with a runner at first, nobody out. Strike one at the knees. Pretty hard stuff at 98.
Little breaking ball right there. They roll with 2 strikes. It's a big difference right there. It looks like it's going to be in the zone. You get a lot of swings and misses.
Back to the mound. Hader will be a foul ball. And off the leg, I think, of Freeman, and out to Hader, who's about to start a DP, but a foul ball, the indication. Yeah, I got the front foot.
I talked about that outing last time with Josh 5 days ago on the 19th. Did not throw a breaking ball. All fastballs that outing. We just saw a spinner right there. Pitch prior for the swing and miss.
Foul back, 1-2. Strike 3 call, and Hader is able to get Freeman for the first out of the 8th.
That's firm 99 right there, right at the knees. He's throwing first pitch strikes right at the knees. Finishes them off right there at 99. Get up top, get through it, finish it off nicely.
One on, one out, and Luke Maley coming up. A couple of hits in this game for the Guardians catcher. Single to left in the 3rd, single to left in the 4th before he flied out to right in the 6th inning. Well, the good news here for Hader, he's been all around the strike zone pretty much in this outing. So that's a good sign. 9 pitches, 7 strikes so far. And that's one thing. There's just the wildness the last 2 times out anyway.
Being way off, right?
Way off, like not close. There's 99 in a strike, so that's good.
Yeah, and after missing it in the zone, bouncing back to even that count at 1-1 rather than going 2-0. There you see the breakdown, 8-2. And it's a pitch like that you were just talking about, Don, right? Make the adjustment the next pitch. Is said pitcher able to adjust the very next pitch? When you get to that release point, your bottom half, your upper half, your arm slot, you feel it. Oh, it's off. Bad pitch. Can you make the adjustment right here and now?
It was a slider, and it's 2-2.
That's a good sign. Pitching backwards right there, 2-1 with the breaking ball. Breaking ball for a strike, too. Strike also. Now as a hitter, what are you looking for? The 99 or the breaker?
Swing and a miss, and he's able to strike out Maley. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hader. So if nothing else out of today, this is a good sign for Hader.
Consistently around the zone. If missing out of the zone, making the quick adjustment the next pitch. And that's just nasty right there.
So 2 down here in the 8th. After the leadoff single by Miller, he's able to strike out Freeman and Maley. Now Miles Straw, 1 for 3 day from his number 9 spot in the order. Strike 1.
Well, I know there's there's speculation around everywhere. What was wrong with Josh Hader? Was it mechanical? Was it something else? Sometimes pitchers can get a little bit too high on the front side and then having to work around to catch up and get to a good release point. It kind of looks like, just from that last shot and looking at these pitches thrown today, he's more in line as far as, and I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just saying this is when I see it. Sometimes pitchers get a little high this side, front side, and then having to work around to get up top. Looks like he's more this way, down shoulders like this way, working down rather than up like this, trying to get up top in 3. Hey, whether that's it or not, I don't know, but I'm seeing more of a level shoulders, I guess you could say, from Hader this afternoon. Watch how his front shoulder kind of stays even with, it's a little higher. Okay. Not sure what pitch that was or the result of that pitch. That was a fastball for a strike.
1-2 pitch.
Could be totally something different. Ooh.
Just missed. And that was actually a strike. Didn't get the call. 3-2.
Wow, that's pitcher's pitch right there. Body going towards home plate. That's another big key for any pitcher.
Line to left and a base hit. Hitting first to third is Miller. He's going to try it and no problem. Throw goes into second base and it's first and third now, 2 down. Miles Straw from his number 9 spot in the order has collected 2 hits on the day for the Guardians.
Looks like a breaky ball here. If taken a strike, but goes on, gets it. That one kind of looked like it didn't have that really sharp break to it. Just kind of rolled up there, kind of same plane almost. Not as deep as a break that you'd like.
First and third, 2 down. Stephen Kwan has been on twice. Single and a walk. And he takes strike 1.
Donnie, another thing that just comes to mind that I sometimes am guilty of. Sometimes we forget that these guys are human beings as well, right?
Sure.
And, don't know what's going on in their world away from the field. Guys aren't robots. Not saying that's the case. I'm just saying there are a number of things that could affect any pitcher or player.
First and third here for the Guardians, a 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, able to strike out Kwan and strike out the side. Josh Hader strikes out 3 in the 8th. It's 7-0 Cleveland.
Hi, I'm CC Sabathia. If win reality was around when I was pitching, I would have hated it. But my son Carson's a hitter, and I don't pitch anymore. So
you're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1, home of Braves Country Baseball Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows and the Armchair Quarterback Show, which airs live Saturday mornings, youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it. And if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
Armchair. Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle Trump pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Magee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. And we'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
I might audible. If I audible, I'll use
Omaha! Omaha! Red Polly! Red Polly! Blue Poncho! Blue Poncho! Dilly! Rambo! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Stop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Ludo Raiders!
Red Plain! Omaha!
Come out!
This portion of the show is being brought to you by The Best Things in Life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer.
Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
Jay-Z. This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair. Armchair.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Armchair. YouTube Live.
CBS Sports Radio Station.
The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station? It's everything.
I like everything. It's always on my radio. We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good afternoon, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good afternoon, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. I don't have student debt. Can I get some of them $10,000 vouchers for my children's tuition? Waller 2024.
Hi, I'm Mac Magee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. I'm glad I quit putting times on our show. It moves around so damn much. I don't have to edit anymore. We're new night, baby. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll be here.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man with a cool one in his head.
Howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac Magee, sitting alongside my good friend Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great, Mac. Got Mullen out joining us tonight. I mean, anytime you thump the Pirates, a touchdown to a safety, you got to let Mullen make a visit.
Man, that was nice. I was a little concerned. Well, first of all, we haven't played well in day games at all this year. And then the other thing was going for a sweep. Not much of a crowd out there today. I'm a little concerned that they'd be.
Got a little bit.
Okay. Anyways, go on.
It was nice to see that the offense is up. You're now a game and well, depending on do the Mets play today. I don't have it in front of me, but you were a game and a half back going into it. I do not know if they have played yet. I have not looked through the scoreboard.
2 back. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I always have that issue with the when we go in from the theme song because of YouTube. I always have that issue. So I appreciate you letting me know. We were 2 out going into today, and we won today. So now we're a game and a half out. The Mets do not play today. The Mets play tomorrow. We do not play. The Mets start a 4-game series against the Colorado Rockies at home in New York. If it was in Colorado, I wouldn't feel that bad about it, because I'd kind of feel like, you might get a situation where they wear out their bullpen, but that's not the case. The only good news is when they come off of that, they're going to have a series against it'll be at home, but against the LA Dodgers, who are red hot. Now we got to go to St. Louis starting tomorrow night. And that's going to be difficult because the Cardinals have been red hot. But other than that, you got to like where you're at, a game and a half out. Look, I know if you look at the Mets schedule, it's so much better for them than it is us down the stretch. But that's the way it is. Remember, we had a long stretch where we were playing a bunch of clowns, right? So now we're going to be playing. We don't have a difficult stretch, but their stretch is definitely much easier.
Yeah, and you have to right now the Guardians putting a thumping on the Padres, and that makes all eyes on the Brewers Dodgers later tonight. Anybody looking for a late night Wednesday night baseball? That game is now important with the Brewers, I think, a game and a half back going into this. I don't know how that'll wash out with the standings once this is done, but theoretically, if all things are equal, could come out of this half game behind if they can find a way to get a W against the Dodgers.
Yeah, so the Dodgers, they have been they're coming what they have, like a 10-game winning streak, something like that. So the Dodgers do this I feel like every single August going into September, they're like 28-1. This is nothing new. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're getting to play their divisional opponents quite a bit. Now that changes a little bit next year because of the new schedule release. And we'll get into the Braves here in a little bit about that. I'm excited about the new schedule. I like the fact that you play every team. It'll give a lot more flavor to the season. The only thing I don't feel like you play your division rivals enough. It looks like to me, I did a blind count while I was working earlier. I couldn't get out there and break down the map, but it looked like to me that they're going about 12 games for each team in the division. I would have liked to have seen 14, 15, maybe 16, so it's even. But I get there's probably some restraints that I haven't really thought about. Just because, you're only going to see the Mets 4 times next year. And I think it becomes almost imperative that when you do play your division rivals, that you do well, because you stumble out of the gates like the Braves did this year, it's going to be a hard climb to get back in because you're not going to have a lot of games. Look, this year we're facing the Mets 7 more times than we will next year. So, yeah, we can make up ground after we piddled around in April and in early May. Next year, if you don't hit the ground running, it might be a very difficult run for you. I did see that they're playing the Yankees at home. I like that.
Yeah, but what I don't like about it is sandwiched in between that is at the Mets and then the Mets at home. So, well, you've got the Giants in between. Excuse me. There is one series in between the Yankees,
Giants
but
suck 2 years in a row, so that's going to be probably a difficult series in itself. You were talking about tomorrow. Is that right? Yeah, today's the 24th. Tomorrow, it looks like the Cardinals are going to play a game tomorrow as well against the Cubs. So that works in our favor. It's a day game, so they will get out of there early, but that works in our favor. Not that we care if the Cardinals win or lose, because look, if we win the division, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a bye. The Cardinals have 71 wins. They're leading the Central right now, and we're at damn near 80. Have we gotten to 80? Let me double check that. It looks like 78 and 48. So we're 7 games in front. So if we are going to win the division, we can't collapse and let the Cardinals catch us. So the winner of the NL East is going to get that second bye. But what I like about it is the fact that, first of all, we're going to miss Daniel Hudson this weekend, who is pitching tonight for the Cardinals, because we would miss him as well. We'll miss Mikolas. He's a tough customer. I do know we're going to play Montgomery because I saw him. We're going up against Quintana, and we do well against lefties on Friday night. We'll have that game here, Strider versus Quintana. I like our chances there. I think I lost your video for a second. I don't know if here you go. And then Saturday, we're going to go. That's a 7:15 Fox game, by the way. That'll be Montgomery, who just pitched a gem against Moore. That should be a really good pitching matchup. And you should get that locally on Fox for no matter where you are. I know a lot of people are in Valley Sports hell. And then Sunday, that is the ESPN night game. I thought it was Odorizzi versus Wainwright. We better win those first 2 games of the series, man. That's all I know. Odorizzi looked good last time out, but he's also going against the Pirates. And Wainwright, man, he keeps saying that, he's going to retire, but my guy's got 3.11 ERA. He's 9-9, so you can't go by the record. That's not his fault.
That makes you valuable by today's pitching standards.
Man, extremely valuable.
You are a hot commodity.
That's damn near Cy Young numbers. I mean, he might get some Cy Young votes, granted 4th, 5th place type of stuff, but I mean, that's pretty impressive. I didn't realize he was having that good of a year. I don't think I have him in any of my fantasy leagues. So I don't, I kind of honed in on the Braves players and my fantasy players. And a lot of times they tend to be the same thing, as you well know. So that's what the weekend's going to look like. Conversely, the Mets, I mean, we all know what that's going to be. The Mets versus Rockies. And we just have to hope the Rockies upset the apple cart once or twice over the weekend. Hoping they don't 4-game sweep would just be brutal. DeGrom tomorrow night against the Rockies, and Feltner with this 5.88 ERA. Woo! Put all your money on the Rockies tomorrow night, buddy. I'm feeling an upset. They haven't announced the starters for Friday, which is strange for either team. That's really strange. What about the weekend? I don't see. Is it just that day that they're? Oh, there it is. Freeland going for the Rockies, but the Mets have not announced. I think they're thrown off by the fact that they have a day off and they don't know if Buck Showalter is going to skip through the rotation. From my understanding, Taijuan Walker's not going to pitch till next week. So it sounds like that they will go. I don't know why they would. Like, this is a perfect opportunity when you only play 2 games in the middle at the beginning of the week, and then you get a day off, and then you play 4 on the weekend, and next week they got to play the Dodgers. This is a perfect time to let your guys get an extra day of rest, don't you think?
I would think so. I mean, especially considering where you're sitting atop. If you've got a chance to plug in some rest against an easy opponent, I'm going to try and pencil it in. But I also don't want to take anything for granted with the East. If you're a Mets fan, you've got to hope that you don't take your foot off the accelerator at all.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, they've got to feel it getting a little tight around the collar. They're like, dude, we have just been thumping and thumping and thumping. We lose 2 games. We look back and Christ almighty, the Braves are right behind us. If you're a Mets fan, that's got to be what's going on in your mind. Because it would if it were me. If I've known that we always tend to fold, not to mention the fact this is the defending World Series champions. This is the team that's won the division the last 4 years. And they have played an incredible season, the New York Mets. It's a little hard for me to believe, as big a Braves fan as I am, as much as I've watched this, it's a little hard for me to believe that we're 2 games back, because it's really felt like a couple of times that they would pull away. Not that they would just go away and hide, but they'd have a comfortable lead. And we're sitting here, was just looking at that schedule, or the standings. So we're at 126 games into the season. So that gives you, quick math, 36 games left on the schedule. And we're 2 games out, and 3 of them are going to be in Atlanta versus the Mets. Take that all day long, considering where we were sitting on June 1st, 10.5 out.
Especially considering you're getting bats in your lineup that are now productive. You've got pitching that is stabilizing, and
did you see Gage?
Yeah,
yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. You've got the potential of Ozzie making a return. Soroka, you're still a ways off, but you've got positive gains there, and I hope that you might have him stretched out before a playoff run. So a lot of positives, especially considering that you're within striking distance, and that's the difference in the rest and a play-in if you can win the East. I'm with you. I think the record will hold the bye, and you need to figure out a way to close in on the Mets and capitalize.
Be such a huge difference to not have to play. And that's why I love the MLB playoff setup as it sits right now. I know a lot of people were against the expansion. Man, I love it, because there have been years where everyone's just kind of coasting because you know who the matchups are going to be, and you're just going to start setting your playoff roster, right? And now the Braves and the Mets, this is going to be a true dogfight. In my opinion, this is going to be it's not like it was, what was that, 93 when the Braves and Giants went down the stretch and the winner goes to the playoffs, the NLCS automatically, and the loser sits at home with like 104 wins or whatever the hell it was at the damn Giants. I mean, the poor Giants that year, I still feel bad for that fan base when you're like, are you serious? We win 104 games and we don't go to the playoffs? Or maybe it was 103. The Braves beat them by 1 game in that scenario. Very reminiscent to what we have going on here, because Giants had a huge lead in the division and we came back. Now the difference is now you don't win the division, you're going to get playoffs. Not only are you going to get the playoffs, you're going to get a home playoff series. Let me ask you this. I think I know your answer. Let's say we don't win the division and we're at home against I guess that makes it the 5 seed. Who of the remaining real contenders would you rather play in that 5 seed role? The Cardinals, Brewers loser would, because the other team's going to win the division. So I'll give either one of these an option: Cardinals, Brewers, Padres, or Phillies.
I think it'll realistically be between the Brewers and the Padres. So that's where I'm going to keep my pick. I think where this lineup is going, I'm going to take Padres.
Yeah,
I know that we thought with those bats we wouldn't want to face that lineup top to bottom, but I'm not sure. I don't think they got the pitch in the match.
I'm hoping we get the Phillies in Atlanta, best out of 3. But I kind of feel what you're feeling. I've never have felt like the Phillies are going to hold on. I know the national media keeps saying they will. I don't think they will. I think the Phillies are, I'm not going to say they're a joke, but they don't play solid baseball. They don't play good defense. Their bullpen it's gotten better after the trade deadline, but it's still not elite. And I'm not convinced that their starting pitching is October ready. Zach Wheeler, terrible game in a big matchup against the Mets this weekend. Aaron Nola, same thing. Now, those two have pitched well against Atlanta, so they might get different outcomes. But in big games like that, I just don't think you can rely on it. Listen to the Mets' stupid schedule in September. So we talked about the Rockies and the Dodgers over the next calendar week. This is where I'm talking about. This is where it's going to be hard to win that division. And home against 3 with the Nationals. At the Pirates for 3. We just saw what the Pirates have. At the Marlins for 3. And they've dominated the Marlins. The Marlins are feisty with us. They are not with the Mets. They tend to roll over. At home against the Cubs. At home against the Pirates. At the Brewers, finally, they're going to have some kind of a formidable foe. At the A's, maybe the time travel will hurt them. I don't know. I doubt it. But that's not a real West Coast trip. We still have a West Coast trip. And then they're at home against the Marlins for 2, and then they go to Atlanta. And then if anything is holding in the balance, they're at home for 3 games to end the season against the Washington frickin' Nationals.
That's a cupcake. That sounds like, a starting to a college football season, if you're just being honest.
I mean, that is that's like a Big 12 schedule. Or maybe Big 8. Maybe it goes back that far. That's like what Nebraska and Tom Osborne used to play. And you're like, how did they end up in the Orange Bowl? Well, look at their schedule.
Well, we finally know how Wisconsin feels in the Big 10 East. Or West, excuse me.
I know in theory we've played the same teams, but I don't feel like we had that kind of a run. We had a pretty easy run. We went on that long win streak. But then I felt like that it got a little tough after that. Man, that's like, it wouldn't shock me if they went 25-5 in the month of September. That is absurd. You look at our schedule, and not that it's like Vanderbilt playing against the SEC kind of tough, but we've got the Cardinals this weekend. You know that's going to be rough. We come home against the Rockies, so we better take care of our business. We have a homestand next week against the Rockies and the Marlins. I almost feel like we have to sweep after what we just heard there, right? And then we get this is the kicker. Going on the road on the West Coast late in the season at Oakland for 2. Thankfully, we have 2 days off in between. So it's a 9:40 Eastern first pitch on Tuesday, and then you turn around on Wednesday, and it's an afternoon game. So they get in and out. Then they got to go to Seattle for 3, which is a very good team this year. Go to the Giants for 3, who still are delusional and fighting for a playoff life, even though they have no shot. And then it gets a little easier. Then that's when we come home, and we're gonna have to take care of the Phillies at home. We put 3 against the Phillies and 3 against Washington at home, and then 3 at the Phillies and 3 at Washington at home. And I'm sorry, but when you play the same 2 teams 12 times in 12 days, man, just the luck of it, you're gonna drop 3 or 4 games. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, just the familiarity of playing them that fresh, that recent, and having that lineup top to bottom. The rotations are going to see each other multiple times. The bullpens are going to be familiar with each other, and I mean, you're really going to be out of tools in the chest when it comes down to that second meeting. And like you said, you have to expect some L's to come out of that.
And from September 16th, which is a Friday night against the Phillies, until the end of the season, which they finish the season, the last day in September is at home against the Mets, and they'll finish that 3-game series, and then they're at the Marlins. But from that September 16th date until October 5th, so we're talking about 3 weeks, they've got 1 day off, and that's going to be brutal. And if it gets down the stretch where you're, we'll say 5 games out with 6 to play coming in against the Mets, right? I'm not even going to sweat it, man. I'm going to start looking at setting my rotation for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm we win, we sweep them, and they fold against the Nationals. Great, but it ain't going to happen. So let's go ahead and get ready for whoever we got to play in the playoffs. Because whoever we do play in the playoffs, whether it's Milwaukee, because I do think the Cardinals are going to hold on and win that division. Whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's San Diego, or the Phillies, they've got a good, formidable 1-2 punch at the beginning of the rotation. So we need to make sure Max Fried's going number 1. And at this point, man, I'm on the fence. I almost want to say, give me Charlie Morton in game 2, because he's pitched so damn well recently. And he's Charlie Morton, the playoff, and then that way Kyle, what do you say, Kyle Wright 3 at this point?
I would.
Yeah.
I'm going Morton game 2. I definitely think you want to play on the veteran there and the experience. Let Fried go out of the gate and then see what you got.
And then that would give you, let's say it went 3, and you got to start the next series off against DeGrom and the Mets. That would still give you Strider in game 1 against DeGrom. I mean,
or depending on where you're at in this Soroka rehab, you might have him available. You just don't know how this plays out and where he's ready to come in. I still think it's probably a setup role.
Or what do they call it? Piggyback?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's unrealistic for us as fans to think he's going to go out there and throw 7 strong in October. New champion. I mean, if we get Soroka of 2019 on the mound,
he's the ace to pull out in your known bullpen game that if you are in a play-in is going to happen at some point in that first series. You're going to have a bullpen start. Yeah.
You still got to, and here's the other thing. Last 2 starts, one against the Marlins and one in the minor leagues, Ian Anderson's been phenomenal. So you've got that bullet in your chamber as well. And I think they're going to manipulate that to see where Ian Anderson is going, because I think he comes back sooner than later. I think there's a good chance that Ian Anderson comes back before the end of August, because I believe the rule is still the same, that you have to have the person on your the person has to be on your roster to be able to be in the playoff run. So by September 1st, when they do the calls, and I know now it's a little weird because of They don't do a full-blown 40-man roster. Now it's like what you have to, you can use up to 28 players a day. You can still manipulate it. But I think Ian Anderson comes back in about a week. He pitched, I think, last Friday, maybe. So he's probably pitching tonight or tomorrow in the minors, and then maybe give him one more start down in the minor leagues, and then bring him up. Unless Odorizzi gets bombed this weekend against St. Louis, and then bring his ass up and don't even pitch him that next time down, or the time after this down in the minors, and have him ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, you got to bring him up and at least find out what you have. Did you gain any valuable experience in this send down? And does he come back out and mow through like we know he's capable of doing? So I think you're right. You will be seeing a call up. You will see him early September, and they're going to test the waters and see what he's got. But how they manipulate this roster to make that work, I'm not quite sure yet.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up the see if I can find it real quick. I should have already had this up. The 2023 schedule, Braves edition. It came out this afternoon if people are wondering about that. I swear in years past it's come out a little earlier, but I do believe something's got it probably has something to do with the effect that they had to use a much different algorithm than they did in the past, because for the first time ever, every major league team is going to play every major league team. So let me see if they have the actual, believe March 30th is when it's starting. Is that a Thursday or is that a Friday? That's a Thursday.
Thursday.
In Washington. So I'm not going to share that part of the screen because that's kind of a waste because it's only one page. So let me get back over here and let me go ahead and share this so that we can see where, here we go. I should probably use portion because it's probably gonna be too big. Okay, move it over a little bit and let's go. All right, so see if I can manipulate this a little bit to make it easier for the viewer to see this. All right, this is April. Can that be seen pretty decently on the screen, I'm hoping?
It is.
Okay. Anything jump out at you in April?
Yeah, who'd we piss off? I mean, thanks for the Royals, but what else in there is beneficial? The Marlins are in our division. Other than that, that's kind of brutal.
Once again, we get rid of the Padres early, don't we? Look at that.
Yeah.
We got to play the Padres twice.
Good news is,
you know what the
depending
good part
on
is,
Tatis will still be suspended.
That's right. That's right. Game on.
I don't care how deep they get in the playoffs. He's not going to have less than that. So we should be all right if they make the playoffs this year.
The Reds should be trash once again. I can't imagine the Marlins are going to make leaps and bounds. And then we go to Citi Field to end April. So that right there is exciting in itself. We go to May, and so the Orioles come to Atlanta. Boston comes to Atlanta for a couple. We go to Toronto. Guess we're going to find out who's vaccinated. Rangers. This is kind of neat that you do get to see every team. The only thing I don't like about it is, once again, I feel like you need just a few more games against your division rivals, and maybe they'll work that out down the stretch. Man, that's a long homestand, but against three good teams: Mariners, Dodgers, and Phillies.
Man, the tale of 2 weeks in that, you're front loaded with some W's, and you get a tough home stretch, and then after that, you head out on the road for 3 in Oakland. That's a tough little stretch there. You better not escape, You better not walk past the front half of that month.
Then you get at Arizona. And so we go from Oakland to Arizona. So that should be, I mean, you can't ever count in on anything from year to year. You don't know what the free agent is going to be like. But that should be a pretty decent road trip. It's not a brutal West Coast road trip like you get some years. Then you get the Mets and Nationals. The one thing I do like, because you know that the Nationals are still going to be in a rebuild, we don't have to play someone formidable after 3 games against the Mets. So if we get beat up a little bit, we should be able to rebound against the Nationals. That's a weird one right there. Go to Detroit and then come right back home against the Rockies. You'd think they finagled that a little differently.
Yeah, then you go right back out for the Phillies and at Cincinnati. Interesting. You didn't somehow work those when you went out to Detroit. But, hey, it works out. What I like to see is you've got off dates, and it's something that you'll notice throughout the entire season that you didn't get this season, is you've actually got built-in open dates throughout the tail end. Doesn't look like there's any monstrous stretches like we had this year with no days off. So you have to like that from the roster standpoint.
Yeah, well, we all know why that was.
Right.
Play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Then so this, what month is this? Is this July? Yeah, it's July. So you get the All-Star break. This time it's a true 4-game break. I think they did once again put a Thursday night game in there. I don't know what they decided on, but they're going to put something there. I'm telling you, this is when they need to put the damn cornfield game on. The Field of Dreams is right here, because people come off the All-Star break, they would watch that, but they wait till August. Hell, this year, I think they did the same thing last year. They waited until the first preseason game of the National Football League to do that. I'm like, why are you going up against the NFL? That makes no sense. You can have the.
Do you know if next year's the last year they'll be doing those? When's the end to the?
Supposedly they're not doing one next year because they're doing some kind of renovations, and then they haven't confirmed if they're going to do one the following year. If they're going, I feel like what they should really do is either A, do it right after the All-Star game, like I said, or B, do it once every 5 years, but still pick a day that is before the NFL.
It's going to be interesting what they do, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe, and I think Frank Thomas might be involved as an investor in this, but they are turning that into a sportsplex, multiple fields, and going to be pretty big complex. I hope they don't lose the game and what they built there, because it has been phenomenal, whether you like the teams or not. I think we've seen good games when we've seen the game. It's put a good product on TV.
Yeah, I think that they're going to I do know they're doing a big renovation, so that's probably what you're referring to. And they're not going to do one next year, but I don't know if you want to do one every single year. It's just, the cool thing about the Field of Dreams game last year was it was the first time ever. And do one every 5 years. And to me, dude, can we make sure it's not two bums? You know what the Pacoda rankings are at the beginning of the year?
Let's put the All-Star game there.
That would be cool too.
Or let's have it our rematch. I mean, I do like the game. I would like to see it have a historical annual meaning, whether that be, the opening game, which is traditionally we like to see a rematch, or we'll, depending on how MLB does it, maybe you can get a good division rival and it rotates around, and that would give you maybe.
I know NFL. Look, I don't really care about NFL preseason, but there's a lot of fans that do. They put it right up against the Hall of Fame game. It was either the Hall of Fame game or it was the following week where there was like 3 or 4 games kicking off.
I like the White Sox coming to town. That one's going to be fun.
Yeah,
that's the one that stuck out to me in this one, was seeing the White Sox. I don't remember
the last time they played the White Sox. It's been a while, it seems like. They get the Angels at home in August. Another chance to possibly see Trout and or Ohtani if they haven't been moved by that point, because their owners released something leaked where he's thinking about selling. I'm sure Angels fans are like, hell yeah.
Come on, Nashville, baby.
Now August. Well, I don't know if they'd move out of Los Angeles, just finding a different owner. Because I mean that's pretty damn good market they've got there.
I'd say so. Do you see what he valued the team at?
No, I did not.
It had a B. It started with a B. It wasn't the 120 million he purchased the team for.
Well, no, I mean
it was astronomical. The number there, can't do it justice, and I don't want to misquote it, but it was large. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of pockets line up to purchase that.
I mean, I would think it's got to be worth at least $2-3 billion just because it's Major League Baseball team in Los Angeles, right? I mean, that's got to be worth something. Because I think the Yankees are worth 2-3 times that amount. I saw that what's sticking up in my head is the Cowboys were there was a quote given $8 billion last year. Or this year, excuse me. But I don't remember where the hell that came from, like where that number came from, if it was something that it was actually legitimate, or if it was someone, or was it Dan Orlovsky on freaking ESPN going, I bet they're worth $8 billion.
2.2 billion was the estimated team value.
This would be a cool one in Chicago in August.
Yeah.
That's because Chicago, man, that's good weather. I'd love to go to that one right there. The Friday day game in August. Woo, look out. They get the Yankees at home. This is what we were talking about earlier. Thankfully, it's right before it's the Pirates. But then we go to the Mets, home against the Yankees, a day off, home against the Giants, home against the Mets, a day off, back out to play the Giants, who I can't imagine are going to have 2 down years in a row.
And then what happens here?
Ooh,
this gets silly.
Bad. This is the type of road trip we normally get that is just brutal. At the Giants, at the Rockies, which just sucks because sometimes it can just annihilate your bullpen. And then you finish that with the Dodgers. Ugh. I hate when we go out there and play the Dodgers.
Oh, and it's a 4-game series, not even a 3.
Brutal.
It's a 4-game.
And I bet that's the only time we play the Dodgers. So we're going to play them 4 games in LA. Ugh. Then come home against the Cardinals, which that won't be easy. Pirates, Phillies, Marlins. Towards the end of September, we got some things breaking our way. I like that. But here's what I don't like. We don't play the New York Mets one time in September. That's ridiculous. That if you want to do the other stuff, I can live with it. But you should play every single one of your rivals at least one series in the month of September. Now, the good news is if we're running away and hiding, Mets are screwed because we get the Nationals, Cubs, and Nationals to end it. But if we're chasing them down, it's going to be really hard. So the last time we meet them is middle of August, August 23rd. Well, towards the end, August 23rd will be the last game versus the Mets next year. We better have that lead. Or how about this? We better win the World Series this year. Because it might get ugly next year.
I agree 100%.
What's that?
Agree 100%.
Yeah, I don't know how we could it has been so long since I've done the belly up to the bar. I'm just gonna go ahead and go into topics because I don't know where that damn soundbite is. So let's go ahead and belly up to the bar. Hopefully by next week I'll find it. Got some belly up topics here for today. And well, before we get into that real quick, college football is beginning. So we do, it's not much of a slate this weekend, but we do get some games. See, let me go to all FBS on the, all right. So the first games are Saturday. There are no Thursday night games. And you have, what is it? Maybe For all those days on that game. All right. There's actually more games I thought there was, about 10 games. Florida State, by the way, is going to host Duquesne, and that can't be much of a, it better not be much of a game. If that's a nail biter or a loss, Mike Norvell can go ahead and start updating his resume. Now, I don't want to hear any of this keep climbing crap if you lose to Duquesne first game of the season. And I don't want anyone to at me with, well, they're rebuilding. They've got a really good squads. They've got a 3-star receiver that they signed. No. They've got Duquesne. So like I said, that should be blowout city. It better be. What I'm more interested in watching that is, do they look better? Does the offense look more crisp? We still have the same quarterback. He's like a 9-year senior at this point. I want to see more so, though, than anything else. Can they move the ball through the air efficiently and establish that ground game? Because they've had a decent ground game, but it seems like they always muddle around. The play calling's poor. I want to see a big leap this year. But come Saturday, you've got a couple of interesting matchups. Nebraska, Wyoming, 12:30. At least it's a conference game. I know that's not going to get anyone excited, but
Northwestern, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Right. And that's in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah. In Ireland, which is strange that it's playing as late as it is. So it'll be almost sundown over there, but 5:30 their time, if my math's right. 12:30 Eastern. That'll be a Fox game. You get to see your boy Urban Meyer. Did you see they brought him back to the Fox pregame show? It's like, are you serious?
I did not.
What does this guy have to do? Like, this guy's more Teflon than freaking Deshaun Watson.
Well, I mean, he's got a good agent. Got to get him back in front of the cameras and get him in at his next opening.
He must have took pennies to get on the set. And they said, screw it. It's going to help ratings. That's how desperate they are to outdraw the ESPN game of the week. Then you've got, I'll go ahead and share this because this is, if I can find it real quick. I should have had this pulled up as well, but you know how that is. And unfortunately, I'm on 2 different screens, so I can't just copy and paste and away we go. But what's the next game that jumps out of you? Maybe
I think, yes, at the end, Jacksonville State, Stephen F. Austin jumps out just because it's in Montgomery, and I just want to see your boy on camera and what he's got, and see if he stole all Nick Saban's players or not. But that would be the big one that jumps out to me that I'm locked in. The Carolina game interests me. I just keep tabs on it. Florida A&M, nothing to really worry about, but you want to see how they bounce back and what they put on the field. But Vanderbilt at Hawaii, Temis and the Rainbow Warriors, we're going to be representing here on ACQB Network. But you got to look for Vanderbilt to hopefully answer the bell. They haven't showed up much lately. You want to see what they do with the travel and can they be competitive. Going to be a tall test for them.
The one thing you like about this is the gambling factor. Gambling's back, baby. Let's go. That's about the one thing that's going to get me energized for any of this junk. That's
over week one. Over. Over.
See, FSU plays at 5, so I'm going to have a beer in hand. I can't get anyone else jazzed up about that game, but I'm going to watch it.
I'm just glad you know how to pronounce their opponent, because I was glad we didn't have to dive into that.
Oh, Duquesne. Yeah, I've heard it a million times in the offseason. It's the only reason why I know how to. I'm not really familiar with them. I feel like I've heard of them, but I feel like it's been basketball season, so who knows?
I definitely added a syllable and had that mispronounced, so I'm glad I didn't embarrass myself. They are too.
Vanderbilt, Hawaii. That's the 10:30 game. I like that one. That's fun. I wish they'd have made that a little earlier, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know why ESPN didn't try to coax that into a 9 o'clock kickoff, or I guess it's on CBS Sports. A 9 o'clock kickoff, something. Here's the thing that gets me. And maybe they got UFC on or something. That there's no college football game on ESPN until ESPN2 at 10 p.m. Nevada. New Mexico State. I get that this is ACC network and that's ACC network and it's the family of, but you'd think they'd want a college football game on there.
That is interesting. I wonder what they're going up against or something's happening. I don't think
Big
the
Ten
World Series
networks-
would play over into that.
I don't know, but Big Ten network's crap in the bed here because this game right here, Wyoming, Illinois, they should have pushed that to a night game because they've got nothing competing against it. Because if you got Wyoming and Illinois, I'm talking from the betting standpoint, I would take a gander at that over any of these other games that are kicking off at that time. Charlotte and FAU.
Only other game that you question competitiveness would be North Texas UTEP from a betting standpoint, and that one's could be debatable as well.
How about all these games on Thursday next week? Whoa. Is that all? Yeah, that's all. I know Tennessee is on this. Yeah, there they are. 7:00 against Ball State. So they're in the same boat as Florida State. That first game, like you might not be able to get other people jazzed up, but you're going to be jazzed up for that, right?
West Virginia at Pittsburgh.
West Virginia Pitt. I like it.
I love that one.
I thought there was another decent game.
Penn State Purdue could be interesting.
Oh yes, Penn State Purdue on Fox. That was the one that we were talking about a few weeks ago. I think it was me and Tones. That should be fun.
Minus Napier, don't know, but Tech at Missouri could be another interesting one, especially one I'm going to be watching on my ticket. Let's put it that way.
Let me see what we got here. So Friday, shorten this up a little bit. Friday, you've got a whole lot of nothing.
2 games that you can hopefully try to
Maybe
find
Western
interesting.
Michigan State, maybe.
Possibly Illinois, Indiana could be a game.
Yeah.
I expect Indiana to handle the business there,
TCU
but the
Colorado.
TCU Colorado is the game that I think could be a pleasant surprise there.
Bad job by ESPN putting that on so late. That should be like 9:00 Eastern. I mean, it should be 8:00 Eastern, but they've got Michigan. I don't care. Put that on ESPN2 at freaking 9:00 Eastern. That's late, man. That's still 9:00 out in Colorado. That next Saturday, and then we'll jump to the couple of belly up topics before we jump off of here. We'll have more time to talk about this next week. I just want to take a quick look at it. What we got?
And you can sleep most of the day.
Yeah, that's fantasy football draft day for us. So we're doing
North Carolina at App State's one not to look past.
That's one of the reasons why we picked this day. Georgia, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern. There you go. That is the game to circle. And then Cincinnati, Arkansas. Much more intriguing if it was last year because there was a lot at stake. This year in September, kind of hard to decipher. But look, I mean, at least it's a decent matchup. I know there's some decent games that night. Let's see what we have. MTSU and James Madison. Don't sleep on that, baby.
Utah at Florida.
Yes, there it is. Utah, Florida at 7:00. And believe there's a really good night game.
Is that a
Dame, Ohio
debate?
State.
Is Elon Musk playing Vanderbilt? What's happening here? Oh, my bad.
What's that?
Thought Elon was playing Vanderbilt.
Oh.
Got him confused there. Thought he'd done bought a school and had his own team.
I give him a puncher's chance. And then you get Notre Dame, Ohio State at 7:30. So Florida, Utah at 7, and then Florida, Notre Dame, Ohio State at 7:30. All off season, I've not been able to keep that straight when this game was because someone told me it was the second week, so that got stuck in my head. And I think they were referring to the fact there's a few games on this weekend, but this is the real first week. And then let's see what you have that night. Anything? I don't see anyone ranked. Mississippi State, Memphis is usually a dog fight just because of the proximity.
SMU North Texas would be fun, but at 7:30, there's way too much on the site.
Exactly. Like the only way you're going
Hey, Memphis at Mississippi State's another one that Memphis might sneak up and get them one there.
And then, dun, 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 dun. Florida State's got to go to LSU. Oof. You take on the Brian Kellys, the fighting Brian Kellys. And then Georgia Tech home against Clemson. Actually, I think that's in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta.
Is that Florida State game a Sunday night?
It's a Sunday night game, yeah. Sunday night, right before Labor Day. So this is Labor Day. So most people don't have to work that next day. So that's why they did it. That's that traditional. There's always some big game that Sunday night. Last year it was Florida State and Notre Dame. Huge ratings. I mean, I expect it to be huge ratings again this year.
Is this the end of a single digit being beside Clemson to start a season?
We'll find out. Georgia Tech plays them well. I don't give them a chance to win, but other than the fact DJ Ugalele is still going to be their quarterback. And I saw nothing last year we almost beat them.
Man, that ain't saying much.
I used to be the biggest homer at Florida State, but we suck right now, okay? And if we almost beat them with Jordan Travis and it's not even an option offense. It's I do think he's going to make another stride, but he's not going to, because some of these FSU fans think he's going to be NFL. He's not going to be in the NFL. If he's anything in the NFL, he'll be like a third straight, or he'll be a practice squad guy, because he'd be perfect to play like the shadow type guy for Jalen Hurts, because he's got the athletic ability. But I'm hoping what I would consider a successful season and a step in the right direction is 8 W's, going to a bowl game and maybe even winning the bowl game. And if it was against a decent enough opponent, you'd be jumping for the roof. But they need to beat either Florida or Miami, preferably Florida, especially because it's in Florida. I mean, in Tallahassee. And this is Napier's first year. You're not going to beat him now. When are you going to beat him? I can live with if they don't beat Miami. Miami's gonna have a good team. Miami's ranked 16th in the country. But Florida, I almost feel like he's got to beat Florida unless he has like a ridiculously good record. He's not going to go. He's not going to stick around if he doesn't beat Florida this year and win about 8 games. Okay. Like I said, I don't know where that damn belly up music is, so we'll just dive right into it. I used to know where all this stuff was in the back of my hand, but now just doing the play-by-plays, it's who knows. So imagine in your head someone singing belly up to the bar. Malik Willis report card. What say you? I've been wanting to get your take on this because I actually got to watch a Titans game live. I feel good about it. He's not ready.
I think there's more upside. I can see the ceiling than why they drafted him. I think he's not got a good line in front of him. This offensive line needs a lot of help, and I think that's led to a lot of his off-balance throws, wanting to escape and rely on his feet early. He hasn't been in there able to just sit in there and get his true reads, because we've seen you look at the touchdown against the Bucs, the first one, when he got to run through his progressions and he had time, he found his tight end wide open, streaming right across the back. And that's what they want him to do, is to be able to have that protection and sit comfortably and not just take off. But it is nice and refreshing to see a quarterback in the Titans backfield that is mobile and can stretch a defense and does require them to stay honest. And when you have a running game attack and you pair it up with a quarterback that opens you up that mobility, it makes you very excited to the possibility of things that can come, remind you of the heydays. Will this offense get there? I don't know. That's a pipe dream, but I see the possibility and the potential.
What I like about it is, first of all, hopefully they'll have a healthy Derrick Henry when he steps onto the field as the starting quarterback, and a Derrick Henry that'll still be in his prime. They'll have a year under the belt of Treylon Burks. We'll see where he's at. And he won't have to do it all. But I do think the offense is going to change quite a bit. I think you're going to see a lot of play action rollouts, almost like what they do with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. And hopefully by next year, we're chomping at the bit to watch him play. But if the Titans are going to go deep in the playoffs this year, it's got to be the Ryan Tannehill show. Because if we have him in there, it's going to be worse than like the beginning of the Vince Young era, where you're just going to be like, oh, Lord.
How patient are you with Tannehill, especially with no preseason? How patient are you?
Extremely.
Really?
Dude, he got us to the best record in the AFC last year. But if we get towards the playoffs and we've got a great record and he's not playing that great, I wouldn't mind seeing at least a dual opportunity. You put Malik Willis in for some packages, as they call it, but let's call it what it really is, a platoon system where he goes in for maybe once every third or fourth series, gives the defense a different look. I wouldn't even mind that start the season. He's not ready to start.
Like the Breeze, escaping my mind, but what they did in New Orleans for a little bit with Hill.
Yeah, Taysom Hill. Yeah. By the way, speaking of that, I just saw Jameis Winston pop on the screen. They were interviewing my son. I was like, man, I should go hear that because he's saying something stupid. That guy's a walking soundbite, man. He always says something where it's like, what the heck? There's always a video comes across my TikTok or my Facebook or something that they've found of him in a meeting room where he's sounding off, and it's some funny he says the dumbest things, and it's not intentionally. But
he's announcing the opponent for Florida State this week. I want to hear that.
Yeah. Nick Saban signs an extension for $11.7 million a year till the end of 2030. I'm going to contend he's underpaid. What these guys make nowadays, he gets you in the playoffs every year, if not win the national championship.
I'm going to contest he's overpaid. He used to get you in the playoffs, and he ain't got oil money anymore, and the NIL's going into all that, so bring it on.
All right. I say load him up, man. I say that guy's worth at least 15 a year. I mean, honest engine, he's probably worth 50.
Hey, if you want to spend all your payroll, your roster money on your head coach, you go right on ahead.
If you took Willie Taggart and put him with the Alabama Crimson Tide, I don't give a damn how much talent you got. Willie Taggart's going to run him into the ground. Nick Saban's worth his dime. What about the Tatis apology? Did you see that?
I did. Call BS.
Why didn't he just come out and say what we're all? Why didn't he just say, "Look, I've been injured. I feel like I've been leading my team down. I tried to take something to help myself come back." I think everybody would go, "Fair enough, man."
Or just be honest. Let me rephrase that.
I
didn't use my best judgment, and I put off a shoulder surgery that had been plaguing me last season and caused me multiple stints on the IL. I then wrecked my motorcycle in December and cost myself a wrist fracture that kept me out for 4 months out of the year. To your point, I took things to help myself and get back and just tell the truth instead of putting this. I need to pay better attention to what goes into my body is BS.
Well,
my employer doesn't handle that, doesn't take that well. Yours wouldn't either. None of ours would.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why doesn't he just say, I was trying to get back and I needed something to help me get back, be stronger. And he could probably even turn it on its head and say, look, man, there's a lot of doctors out there that believe PEDs are good for your body. And why is it illegal? He could have turned that on its head. But to sit there and say, I'm irresponsible, didn't know what I was taking. Yeah,
I would have just said it was in the COVID vaccine. Nobody knows what's in it. So very good. I blame it. I was going to take a lie.
Andy Pettit at one point when he got busted with his roids, and he was asked about it. He came straight out and said, I was coming back from an injury and I wanted to help my team win, which is essentially what I'm saying that and everyone has forgiven Andy Pettit.
Just don't lie about it. Lying compounds it. Just be honest. You've already been caught.
They got me, man.
There's no lie to tell.
Y'all think I lost, but I got $330 million off that.
Oh yeah, because
how long he's been taking.
Guaranteed.
Who knows how long he's been taking it? What is your walk off for the day, sir?
Wow, we're already at that time, and I am unprepared. Yeah, that's a great one right there. Go Braves, and let's hope we can seal this deal with the Cardinals. We've got to get the first two, like you said, and because Katie, we are the door on Game 3. Hopefully, we're talking next Wednesday. We're within a game, and things are looking up.
My walk off. So I got a couple things. First of all, since you brought up the Cardinals, I am excited to watch this because, look, when we get to the playoffs, I don't know how much Cardinal baseball I'll watch unless we run into them because I get focused on the Braves, and I'll try to watch it. But what I really want to do with this is I want to enjoy the fact that this is the last time we're going to see Pujols, Molina, and probably Wainwright, although all three, well, Molina's done, right? Molina's trying to get.
You tell that guy that.
No, I wouldn't in the same room. But what I'm saying is, as far as their Pujols is tearing it up down the stretch, and then of course Wainwright, we just went over his stats a little while ago. I want to enjoy the fact that they are going to be facing these guys for what is probably the last time, unless we run into them in the playoffs. And they've put together one hell of a career. And it's kind of cool that they get to ride out the sunset one last time, right? Like, you know, it would have been cool if at the very end of their careers, if, you know, Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox all came back for one, you know, hoorah, even if they're all coming out of the bullpen kind of thing. So that's what I equate it to, being a Braves fan. And I look forward to the weekend, but then also fantasy football season is here with us. And we're not doing a show this Saturday, but next Saturday, if you're a fantasy football fan, we're doing a live draft. Definitely want to do that. And then we're also doing a fantasy football show to get you prepped for your actual draft. And that will be released next Saturday as well. So I'm done putting my show out there a few days before so that every guy in the league can see what the hell I'm talking about. I'm making sure that thing's going to drop in the middle of our draft. And they're going to be like, oh, man.
After you're about 8 rounds deep.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to do it on the one that, the one that I'm not worried about. By that time, they're going to be like, well, it's over, right? You know, once you're in the 8th or 9th round and any guy in fantasy sports says in like the 9th or 10th round, 12th round, it's worse than they said 15th round. Oh, you got my guy. You had 14 rounds to get the guy. Don't say, yeah, I got your guy. I got him before you did, but I didn't get your guy. All right, brother. Great job. We'll be here every Wednesday night. I know this threw everyone off. You might just be finding us, but we'll get it caught back up. And Wednesday nights we'll be here all throughout the fall. We're going to do a lot of football talk, and of course we'll talk the Atlanta Braves.
Turn the lights next week. Man. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll turn the light on. It got dark quick, and I feel like you're talking to a dark face right now.
I know, man.
It's all I can see. I keep coming in and out of the shadow.
Bob or something. What's going on there?
Hey, man.
Goodbye, sweetheart. It's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. The Armchair Quarterbacks bring you Braves Country Baseball every Tuesday and Friday night, play-by-play with Magee. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another